Did you know that most people aging, baby boomers, have decided to age in place, not moving? So for any of you people out there just hoping that they're going to move so you can buy their house, I got some bad news for you. Yeah, it's not happening.
According to recent data, many baby boomers plan on aging in place.
You see, 68% of baby boomers have lived in their house at least 30 years. And they like it, and they plan on staying. And here are some reasons why.
Well, you see, moving is expensive.
Moving, it costs a bunch of money to move. Not only to pay real estate commissions to sell your house, but you gotta pay the piper downtown. The city charges you deed stamps double in the state of Florida when you move, so moving is expensive. Not to mention you have to pay a mover to pack up your things and move you in most cases when you're old. 2, it's inconvenient. Moving is very inconvenient. It's certainly no fun. And as you get older, it's a lot less fun. A lot of things are a lot less fun. I mean, if you go out into your yard, you want to do some gardening, it's quite painful. Once you get past 60, your back aches, your knees ache. You can just throw moving, packing up boxes, things like that into the mix. Yeah. And 3, the cost of homes are outrageous. Homes cost a lot more now. And if you've been living in a house for 30 years, obviously you know you purchased that home for a heck of a lot less. So it's just another reason not to move.
Top reasons people stay.
For this latest article by the National Association of Realtors, top reasons baby boomers stay: no need to move. 79% of them say that. And there's no explanation as to why they think there's no need to move, but there's no need to move as far as they're concerned. They're already close to family. 34% of people say that they're close to family, so there's no need to move. 33% of baby boomers say it's too expensive to move. I've kind of already covered that one. 25% of baby boomers say they live in a low crime area, so they don't want to move into a higher crime area, and I can completely understand that. 18% of baby boomers say climate is a reason they won't move. They like the climate where they live. And 12% of baby boomers say the cost to borrow money is way too high. Interest rates are so high, they see no reason to go buy another home. And they probably have their home already paid off. But if you plan on staying in your home, particularly a home that you've been in for 30 years, as a realtor, I've been a realtor for 30 plus years, and I've learned a lot. And one of the things I can tell you is homes do need repairs. They need repairs over time. They certainly need a lot of them once they get to be 30 years old. So if you are an older person and you live in a home that's aging like you are, well, there's some things that are gonna need to be addressed, and a lot of older people just don't wanna do it. But health conditions can force your hand. And I'll get back to that in a minute. Ironically, those people, those baby boomers who have lived in their homes for 30 plus years, most of them have no intention of doing any type of home renovations. It's not even on the radar. They don't want to replace the roof. They don't want to replace the siding. They don't even want to update the appliances. So that's interesting. And I sell a lot of real estate where I've walked into homes and there's evidence of that. And it will affect the price of the home when you sell. If you've let everything go to hell in a handbasket, and it does happen. But let's focus back on reasons you may want to make some renovations. As we age, even though we age, our house ages too. Now, I live in an older home, and while I've done a lot of renovations to it, it's not 100% where it should be for an aging individual. For instance, let's say you ended up in a wheelchair. A lot of homes don't have door widths, specifically older homes where you could get a wheelchair into, let's say your bedroom or the bathroom. This house was built in 1957. You look at the front of my house, you would never notice that. I mean, it looks brand new because we have put a new roof on. We've resurfaced the outside. This is one of my guest bathrooms. It's 24 inches wide, 24 inches. And while I may be able to get through it, a wheelchair could not get through this door. You should have doors 36 inches wide for a wheelchair. You could get by with 32. A wheelchair could get through a 32-inch door. 36 is probably the safest, if you need to maneuver, turn around. But if you want to just go in and out, you could probably do it with 32. I would have to, knock off this wall here and move it over to get a wheelchair through here, if that were the case. Then there's your bathing situation. Yeah. Now this bathroom has a tub in it. My master bathroom does have a shower, but there's a problem. If I were in a wheelchair, this would need to be taken down to where it was flush. Can get in the shower, but that's a problem. That would have to be knocked down to floor level so I could at least get a walker or a wheelchair into the bathroom, which I don't even want to think about. I'm exercising a lot to prevent that from happening. So while your house may be aging, you are too. Which means while you might not want to have to do some home renovations, you really should consider thinking about it now before it becomes problematic for you. So if you're in your early 50s, this is the time to start thinking about making improvements to your home if you plan on staying there. Things like counter height, some people, are concerned about that. That's a very expensive fix. If you are going to be disabled and in a wheelchair, it's probably a better idea to try to modify a wheelchair to reach the height of a cabinet, but that is one of the things people have a problem with. Lighting fixtures, reaching controls on a stove, things like that. If you end up being handicap challenged, there are stovetops that go up and down, for the handicapped, and that is something to consider if that is a likely scenario for you and your health concerns. My personal opinion is you should address your health concerns. That's one of the things that I've been doing over time. Pretty much hammer it out the last 6 months, taking off weight, doing a lot of exercise, trying to build muscle, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm incapacitated or in a wheelchair or I fall down and break my hip. So these are things that are on my mind. I see it happening within my family. I see it happening to my friends, their family, and it's because most of us do live a sedentary lifestyle. You're in front of a computer, you're looking at your phone all the time, and it really does change the trajectory of how you will be living as an older person by being sedentary. You won't be able to go hiking or kayaking. I go hiking and they have these steps up to these waterfalls. If I don't stay in shape, I wouldn't be able to do that. And I could end up potentially needing a walker or needing a wheelchair and spending extra money on my home to make it wheelchair friendly. Some of the things you need to consider if you do plan on aging in place and staying in your home: These are repairs you really should make, or renovations you really should make, and that is non-slip flooring. Very important. Consider rounded corners on your countertops, coffee tables. You ever see those little rubber things that they put on the corner of the coffee table for the little toddlers? That could be you as you age. I'm not kidding. Obviously, oh god darn, there's a freaking mosquito in here. All right, he's looking for some blood. Lowering your light fixtures, I think I mentioned that. Countertop heights, door, wheelchair accessible doorways, and wheelchair accessible showers. The entryway to your door, does it have steps? You know, you may have to put a ramp in. These are all things to consider if you plan on staying in your home to the day that you die. Since this is an area of focus for many people who are planning on aging in place, another thing besides the appliances, a lot of older people are considering Wi-Fi controlled appliances so that they don't have to get up as much, I guess. Don't know if that's a good idea to control your oven or your refrigerator. You know, a lot of refrigerators even will warn you when food's about to expire. They have that type of technology. I can see the allure of that, but for me personally, I would skip it. You know, that's just me. You know, get up, off your booty, change the temperature, check the expiration on that food yourself. We are getting quite lazy, aren't we? And by the way, do you know how much those items break? They break. I refuse. There goes my little piece of paper. I refuse to get a refrigerator that has all those bells and whistles. They don't last. I mean, the thing breaks like in 3 years. They cost $2,500, and I don't even have an ice maker on the front of mine, and there's good reason for it. I've got one in my garage that's 28 years old, still kicking, because they made them good back then. They don't make them very good now. Everything's disposable, so. But to each his own. Among the baby boomers who say they are planning on doing renovations because they see the need for it, 28% said they expect a future need to arise in the next 12 months. Somebody hasn't been taking care of themselves, have they now? 51% anticipate a need to emerge in the next 5+ years. So, if you're gonna age in place, you will probably need to make some changes to your home. But if you think you're gonna need a wheelchair in the next 5 years, if you can, do something about it. I mean, I know there's lots of reasons people can't. I mean, you could have been hit by a car and had permanent spinal damage. Nothing you can do about that. And therefore, you will need to make those home renovations. So, if you can't take care of yourself, try to take care of your body and take care of your house. That's all I have. If you got something out of this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and come back and see me next time.